Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Money Cafe America. This is your calm table for honest money conversations.
Hi, I'm Ethan.
And I'm Maya. Today we are talking about the squeeze people feel when big bills hit at once.
That stress is real. I was waiting for my coffee this morning, quietly hoping my card wouldn't decline.
I think we have all held our breath at a checkout counter at least once this month.
It happens the second rent is due. You get your paycheck, and within 24 hours, rent just swallows half of it.
Right.
Then the auto loan clears the very next day. Suddenly you are buying groceries on a credit card just to survive the week.
That middle-class squeeze is intense. It makes people feel guilty even when they are just paying for absolute basics.
Exactly. You look at your checking account and think, I work full-time. Why am I floating my life on a credit card?
That does not mean you are bad with money. Everyday costs have shifted drastically for everyone.
They really have.
Some situations might eventually need a local housing counselor. Most of us just need a way to slow the immediate panic down.
I would gladly take less panic right now.
We are going to look at a simple decision model for that exact gap. We will also define a few useful terms naturally.
Okay, that helps.
By the end, you will have one practical step to make those big payments feel less suffocating. Have you ever felt that post-rent drop?
Oh, I feel that drop every single month. I am definitely ready to make that cycle stop.
That post-rent drop feels so incredibly heavy because of the timing. You are paying for your largest life expenses at the exact same moment.
It really is the timing. It feels like all my cash leaves my checking account the minute it arrives.
Let us think about your monthly income like a busy four-lane highway.
Okay, I am picturing a massive traffic jam already.
Usually, it is. Rent and the car payment are like two massive transport trucks driving side by side down that highway.
Yeah, they take up the whole road. Nothing else can get past them safely.
Exactly. So when daily expenses like groceries try to merge, there is absolutely no room.
Oh, I see it now. Because the main road is completely blocked, those daily expenses have to take a detour.
Right. And for millions of people, that detour is the credit card.
That makes so much sense. The credit card is not a bad spending habit. It is just the forced detour.
Yes. If this metaphor helps, share this episode with someone who is quietly stressed about bills.
So many people need to hear that. I always thought I just lacked self-control at the grocery store.
The plain rule here is that we have to clear a lane. We must separate the heavy fixed bills from the daily flexible spending.
How do we actually do that? I cannot exactly ask my landlord to make rent cheaper.
We do not change the amount yet. We change when the big trucks drive.
I mean, that sounds helpful, but the common advice is always to just stop spending.
That is the common mistake. People try to budget the flexible spending first, like cutting out takeout or coffee.
Right. You feel guilty about a $10 sandwich when the real problem is much bigger.
Cutting coffee does not fix the road. Rent and the car payment still hit on the exact same afternoon.
That is completely true. The account is already empty before I even buy the coffee.
The better way is to stagger the heavy payments so the account can breathe.
That sounds great, but rent is always due on the first. You cannot really move that.
You might not move rent, but you can often move the car payment due date.
Wait, you can just change the due date on an auto loan?
Yes. Many lenders let you shift your payment date by a few weeks. You just have to call and ask.
Wow, I honestly never thought of that. I just accepted the random day they gave me when I bought the car.
Most people do. Then they spend the rest of the month paying high interest on the credit card detour.
That is the worst part. You pay interest on groceries because your cash went straight to the car loan.
That happens to a lot of people. You sit staring at the banking app, feeling like you failed at basic budgeting.
Yes, You look at the credit card balance creeping up. You feel totally defeated before the month even really starts.
But you did not fail. Your timing was just stacked against you. Staggering those dates gives your cash time to recover.
If I move the car loan to the middle of the month, things change. The credit card detour might not be necessary for groceries.
That is the exact goal. We clear the traffic jam first. Then we see what real cash is actually left for the rest of the month.
That changes everything for me. Shifting a date feels so much more manageable than trying to magically earn more money overnight.
We talked about clearing the lane and staggering those heavy payment dates.
It makes so much sense, but honestly, it still feels a little abstract.
Let us bring it down to a normal day. Where does the jam happen for you?
Usually right after rent clears. My credit card bill is due exactly 3 days later.
That is an incredibly tough window.
I check the banking app, and I just freeze.
What is your first instinct when you see both of those massive numbers?
I panic. I throw whatever cash I have left at the credit card.
And what happens to the rest of your week?
I am completely broke. I float everything else on the card again.
You are paying your largest fixed cost and a debt payment in the exact same breath.
Yes, it feels like a punishment.
But the credit card due date is actually entirely flexible.
Wait, really? I thought it was permanently set when they approved me.
It is not permanent at all. You can choose a completely new date.
How do I even do that? Do I have to explain my whole financial situation?
You rarely even need to call them.
Oh,
Most credit card apps have a simple button in the settings to change your due date.
are you serious? I have been struggling with this for years over a button.
Yes, you can move it to the third week of the month when your cash is resting.
That would mean I do not have to drain my checking account right after rent.
Exactly. You clear the traffic jam.
What if my credit card app does not have that simple button?
That happens sometimes with smaller regional banks or certain credit unions.
So then I am just stuck with the bad date?
No, you just call the customer service number on the back of the card.
And they can manually change it over the phone?
Yes, it takes about 5 minutes. They handle these requests thousands of times a day.
Okay, I can handle a 5-minute phone call. There has to be a catch though.
There is one small limitation to watch out for.
Okay, what is the limitation?
When you change the date, the very next billing cycle might be longer or shorter.
So I might get a weirdly timed statement for just that one transition month?
Right. It might take 1 or 2 cycles for the new rhythm to fully settle.
That makes sense. I can absolutely handle one weird month if it fixes the whole year.
It is a small adjustment that buys you a massive amount of breathing room.
That is amazing.
There is another version of this pressure. It often happens with the car payment.
Oh, the car payment is definitely my second biggest stress every single month.
Imagine opening your auto loan portal during a really busy work week.
I do not even have to imagine that. That is my monthly reality.
You log in, you see the balance, and it feels like a second rent payment.
Yes, it usually hits right when I feel like I finally caught up.
What is your normal reaction in that specific moment?
I just hit submit immediately. I want the scary bill to go away.
That is a very normal protective instinct.
I pay it immediately because I am terrified of getting hit with a late fee.
But paying it immediately might be what forces you to use the credit card later.
Because I just handed over all my liquid cash at once.
Right. Some people try to survive this by relying on their direct deposit arriving early.
Oh, I do that. My bank app says I get paid up to 2 days early.
That feature is helpful, but it is never guaranteed.
True. If a holiday shifts payroll, you are suddenly short.
Exactly. If the deposit is late, the car payment bounces.
That exact thing happened to me last Thanksgiving. It was awful.
Moving the due date permanently is much safer than hoping the direct deposit is fast.
Yes, but moving an auto loan feels much harder than clicking a credit card button.
It takes one extra step. You usually have to call your loan servicer directly to request it.
Calling a loan servicer sounds really intimidating. Do they ask a lot of financial questions?
Usually, they just ask what day of the month works better for your schedule.
Really? They do not make you prove you are struggling with the current date?
No. People change their payment schedules constantly, simply because their pay periods changed.
That is a huge relief. I always assumed it would be a difficult interrogation.
Not at all. But there is a small detail you need to verify while on the phone.
I knew there had to be a catch with the loan company.
It is just about interest.
Oh,
Ask them exactly how shifting the date affects your current interest charges for that specific month.
because I am technically borrowing the money for a few extra days before I pay?
Exactly. The extra interest is usually very small, but you want to know the math beforehand.
A few extra dollars in interest is still way better than maxing out a credit card.
Exactly. You are buying stability.
That feels entirely worth the phone call.
That same pressure shows up in a much smaller way too.
Let me guess. It happens at the grocery store.
Yes. Think about standing in a grocery aisle comparing prices on basic items.
I do that every time. I stare at the shelf trying to shave off $5.
But rent is due in 2 days, and the car payment just cleared yesterday.
So the $5 does not actually matter at all. The account is already drained.
Right. You feel incredibly guilty buying basic food because the timing is so tight.
It feels terrible. I usually throw the grocery receipt away before I even leave the store.
Why is that?
I just do not want to see the total. It ruins my whole evening.
You are avoiding the receipt because you are avoiding the stress of the traffic jam.
Yes, the receipt is just proof that the traffic jam is winning.
And then people try to solve that massive timing problem by cutting out groceries entirely.
Because food feels like the only thing I can actually control in that desperate moment.
It is, but cutting your food budget does not fix the heavy bills crashing together.
So what do I do in that aisle when the money is actually gone?
In that exact moment, you might have to use the credit card.
That feels like completely giving up. I hate adding to the balance.
It is not giving up. It is eating. You have to feed yourself.
Okay, that is fair. I definitely need to eat to keep working.
The real fix does not happen in the grocery aisle. It happens when you get home.
What is the move when I get back from the store?
This is a practical mini action you can do within 24 hours.
I really like the sound of that. What is the step?
Take a blank piece of paper and write down the exact due dates for your biggest bills.
Okay, rent is usually the first of the month.
Then write down the car payment date.
Got it.
Then add the credit card minimum payment due date.
Just seeing them on paper would probably show me the traffic jam immediately.
It will. You will see exactly why the second week of the month feels so empty.
Because all the dates are clustered together in the first 5 days.
Exactly. You do not need to cut your grocery budget in half to survive.
I just need to move one of those big dates away from the giant cluster.
You spread the heavy weight out. Your total monthly income stays exactly the same.
But my checking account actually has time to breathe between the major hits.
When you map out the dates, you might notice something else too.
What else usually shows up on that paper?
Small automatic subscriptions that hit on the worst possible days.
Oh, like streaming services hitting the day before payday.
Yes, a $15 charge feels huge when you only have $20 left.
I completely agree. It is infuriating when a small charge triggers an overdraft fee.
Moving the big bills is the main priority, but you can move the small ones too.
So I could push all my subscriptions to the third week of the month?
Exactly. That keeps the lane completely clear for your rent and car payment.
That takes the guesswork out of the first week of the month.
That is the goal. You are not failing at money. Your payment schedule is just crowded.
I have been blaming myself for years, thinking I was just terribly irresponsible.
You are paying for a car, a place to live, and groceries. That is basic survival.
Hearing that actually takes a massive amount of the shame away.
You just need to organize the flow so the money stops bottlenecking.
This feels like something I can actually sit down and fix tonight. I feel a little more prepared.
We looked at moving the credit card date and staggering the car loan.
It definitely takes the pressure off that first week.
So let us test that logic.
Okay, I am ready.
Imagine you successfully moved your credit card and auto loan dates.
I am already feeling a little less stressed.
But suddenly, your car insurance bill arrives in the mail.
That always happens. Something extra always shows up.
It is due the exact same week as your rent. What do?
I guess I would just pay it immediately so I do not forget.
Even if it drains your checking account again?
Well, yes. I just want the scary envelope off my kitchen counter.
I completely understand that instinct.
Then I would probably just use the credit card for groceries that week.
That is the exact trap we just tried to escape.
Okay, that is true. I panicked and went right back to the detour.
You wanted to make sure the bill was paid on time, which is smart.
I just hate being late on anything. It feels too risky.
Being on time is good, but paying everything early creates that exact same jam.
Because I am handing over the cash before I actually have to.
Right. You can leave the money in your account until the actual due date.
That takes a lot of nerve when the bill is staring at me.
It does take nerve. This is why understanding your fixed expenses matters so much.
That just means bills that never change, right? Like rent.
Yes, it is a cost that stays the exact same every single month.
So rent, the car payment, and maybe my internet bill.
Exactly. Those are the big transport trucks blocking the road.
They are heavy, and they are not getting any smaller anytime soon.
Because they are fixed, you can map them on a calendar perfectly.
That makes sense. I can predict exactly when the heavy hits are coming.
Right. You never have to guess when a fixed cost is going to arrive.
So I can plan the detours ahead of time if I need to.
Yes, but to plan around the credit card detour, you need the next term.
What is the next term?
You have to know your billing cycle on that card.
I honestly just wait for the app notification that says my payment is due.
Many people do, but a billing cycle is simply the 30-day window your card tracks.
So it is just tracking the days I bought groceries and gas?
Yes. At the end of those roughly 30 days, the cycle officially closes.
And that is when they send the massive statement.
Right. That closing date is usually a few weeks before the actual payment is due.
Why does that gap between the dates matter so much?
Because it dictates exactly when you actually have to hand over your cash.
Oh, so if I know the cycle, I can time my spending better.
Exactly. You can wait until a new cycle starts before buying big groceries.
Then I get a whole extra month before that grocery trip is actually due.
You just gave yourself 30 extra days of breathing room.
That feels like a massive relief just knowing that timeline.
That gap between the closing date and the due date has a specific name.
Is there a finance word for that breathing room?
Yes. That window of time is called the grace period.
I always thought grace period meant the few days after you miss a payment.
That is a very common misunderstanding. People confuse it with a late fee warning.
So what is the actual definition?
It is the time you have to pay your new balance before any interest hits.
So if I pay the whole statement balance during that window, I pay 0 interest?
Exactly. The grace period is your completely free detour.
As long as I clear the detour before the time runs out.
Right, but there is a huge catch here.
I knew the free detour sounded slightly too good.
If you carry a balance from the last month, you lose the grace period.
Wait,
What is it?
if I only made the minimum payment last month, the grace period is gone?
Yes. Then they start charging you interest on your groceries the very next day.
Wow, that makes carrying a balance so much more dangerous than I realized.
That is exactly why moving the dates to clear the traffic jam is vital.
Because if I stagger the big bills, I can actually pay the card off entirely.
When you do that, you protect your cash flow and you earn your grace period back.
This really all comes back to just organizing the timeline.
The timeline controls everything. When you control the timeline, the panic fades.
I always thought my problem was just not earning enough money to survive.
More income helps, but timing your current income changes your daily stress immediately.
It really does. I can actually see a clear path out of the constant squeeze.
It takes practice, but organizing the dates is entirely in your control.
That is the best part. I do not have to wait for a raise to start fixing this.
Let us try applying this to one more situation.
Okay, throw the next financial curveball at me.
Imagine you successfully moved your credit card date to the third week.
That already feels like a huge win for my checking account.
But then a surprise medical bill arrives in the mail.
Oof! That is exactly how my life actually works.
It is due the very same week your car payment clears.
That always happens. The bad timing feels completely intentional.
What is your very first move when you open that envelope?
Well, I know I need to avoid the monthly traffic jam.
Right.
So I would probably put the medical bill on the credit card immediately.
Wait,
Oh, did I fail the test already?
not a failure at all. But you just created a new jam.
Because I added a massive new charge to my credit card balance?
Yes, you moved the immediate stress, but you still handed over cash early.
I mean, I have to pay the doctor. They sent an official bill.
You do have to pay it eventually.
Yeah, but
What is the friction?
the friction is the bold red letters demanding payment in 15 days.
They want you to panic and pay it immediately.
It works. I always panic and just swipe the card.
But medical billing is actually incredibly flexible compared to a fixed car loan.
That part is really hard to remember when you feel pressured.
If you put it on the card, you lose your grace period.
And then I pay interest on a doctor visit for the next year.
Exactly.
Okay, let me try this situation again.
Take your time. What is the slower, calmer move?
I do not pay it the week the car loan hits.
Right. What do you do instead?
I call the billing office and ask for a simple payment plan.
Yes, you spread that one heavy bill into tiny, manageable pieces.
Then it does not crash into my auto loan at all.
You keep your lane completely clear.
And I protect my credit card balance from exploding again.
That is a massive behavioral shift.
It feels weird to intentionally delay a payment.
Society trains us to clear the mental anxiety by emptying our bank accounts.
That is so true. I pay things early just to stop worrying about them.
But paying early is what leaves you vulnerable to the middle-class squeeze.
Because I give away my cushion before I even know if I need it.
When you hold your cash until the actual due date, you keep your power.
That actually makes me feel so much better about checking the mail.
How would you start organizing this in your real life today?
I need to actually look at my real due dates first.
That is the perfect starting line.
I am going to write my rent and car payment days on paper.
That gives us a really simple action plan for the week.
I love a plan that does not require earning extra money.
The first step is just grabbing a pen and listing your heaviest fixed bills.
Rent, the car payment, and maybe my student loans.
Exactly. The second step is finding the specific week where they crash together.
For me, That is always the first 5 days of the month.
And the final step is picking one flexible bill to move away.
Like calling my credit card company and moving that date to the 20th.
Or calling your auto lender to shift that payment by 2 weeks.
Either one stops the cluster from completely draining my account.
You just built yourself a completely new financial breathing space.
It honestly feels like taking a huge weight off my chest.
I want to hear from the people listening to us right now.
What is the question for them?
Which heavy bill is currently causing the biggest traffic jam in your month?
You can write one word in the comments.
Just one word is completely enough.
You can just type rent, car, or card.
Naming the roadblock is the very first step to moving it out of the way.
I am going to figure out my specific roadblock tonight.
You have the right tools to fix the timing now.
For the first time in years, I actually believe I can fix it.
You are not failing at money just because your bills land on the exact same day.
It is completely normal to feel overwhelmed when the calendar works against your checking account.
But the calendar is actually something you can change with just a few simple phone calls.
So just start by writing down those major due dates tonight and find the traffic jam.
Once you see that bottleneck on paper, you can finally give your cash room to breathe.
That small timing shift really does change the entire feeling of the month.
Thank you for sitting with us at Money Cafe America. I am Maya. Take care, everyone.
And I am Ethan. Bye, and take it one simple step at a time.